Okay, so I wanted to follow on from what I was talking about last time. We were talking about simplicity, and I wanted to talk about intention. So with self-inquiry, my experience is, for example, inquiry kind of implies that we're asking a question, but the question that we're asking doesn't have an answer. The question is supposed to provide or create an opening in our direct experience through which we can have insight into our true nature. So I think there's a Zen tradition where there's a question with no answer, and the question creates a kind of intention of awareness, I suppose. It directs our intention towards our direct experience in a way that leaves us open to experiencing just what is. And it's not an answer of the mind, it's not a dialogue, there is no answer. When the mind's looking for answers, that kind of takes our attention away from what is. We're moving out of this moment. We're moving into mind activity. So, for example, you could ask a question like, what is this awareness that is perceiving? What is this awareness? Who is this that's looking? Or who is this? What is this awareness that hears? And you could say, this is consciousness, this is awareness, this awareness is the same awareness that is looking out of the eyes of everyone else. But again, that's an answer. It's a thought form, it's language. We're looking for it to open up our direct experience with the intention, and not an intention that we're looking to acquire, or we are trying to solve something, or we're trying to figure something out. Not that we're looking for answers, that it just creates that opening. Because ultimately what we're looking for is what is anyway. What we're looking for is beyond answers. I heard a good tip that was described. If you feel like you're applying effort, if you feel like you're exerting yourself, contracting yourself to try and strive to try and figure something out, to try and solve a problem, then it's taking you away from what is. You're not accepting the moment openly. You're not accepting what is completely. There's some resistance there. If we approach it with an expansive release and openness, an accepting, expansive openness, so we ask the question, have that intention, and then accept, expand, because the answer to our question, if we could say that, is here, is there, is this what is anyway, is waiting for us to accept it. It's not something that can be figured out. And the answer might come afterwards. So, you know, but it can't describe. So I can make answers, I can make dialogue about my experiences after, but the experience itself is something that's beyond words. It's not even an experience, really. Like I said before, any language that can be used doesn't touch it. It can't be described. So it's indescribable. It has to be experienced. I think, like I said before, the more intellectual knowledge that we accumulate, that can, let's say, get in the road, that can obscure our realization of our true nature, because there's just more dialogue that takes us away from accepting what is. You know, we don't have we can question ourselves and ask, what is our motivation, what is our intention behind these practices? Is it because we are doing it out of desperation, because we're trying to escape something, because we're trying to strive for something, trying to avoid something? And the motivation can be helpful, can be a good kind of, these things can be a good motivator for the person, but they can create resistance to what is. And the intellectual concepts, if we hold on to them, they again can create resistance to what is. It's all right here, it's all very simple. I think it's important to, so in my experience, when like I said, when I built the habit of living life through my direct experience and not living in the head, I think it's important I developed a taste for direct experience, a taste for experiencing what is with as much openness and enjoyment and acute detail and acceptance as possible. So, like, say I'm driving home from work, or I think David, I've got somewhere to be, I'm going home from work, and it would create that subtle, like, contraction there, subtle stress there. Whereas there came a point, even especially when I'm walking to work, where I developed a taste for, and I could get excited about my experience, just experiencing things as acutely as possible, as absorbing, being open to absorbing all the sensory experience as it is, in as much detail, with as much intensity, with as much enjoyment as possible, rather than striving to be somewhere. Just absorbing all of the sensory experience, the sounds, the sights, things I've not noticed before, being aware of my surroundings, being aware of this reality with as much intensity as possible. And the need to, the desire to, let's say, experience that, outweighed the desire to intellectually understand or try and grasp concepts. And the comfort of being here, just being here and being now, and the enjoyment and the inherent satisfaction. And there's so much to see, so much to hear, so much to experience. Your senses just become more vivid, and you start to notice things that you weren't aware of before, because we're not trapped in the mind that takes our attention away from our direct experience. Things become apparent to you. The things you've never seen before, sights you've never seen before on your usual walk to work, sounds more vivid, more enjoyable, more peace, this peaceful, open, expansive release. Not looking for something, just the sight, just the landscape. And when the taste for that outweighs the taste for the need to understand, then the insight comes. And you're just spending your time in presence and awareness, and just enjoying just this. Not trying to look towards something else, just enjoying just this. Just what is. It's really simple. And that's it. It's not somewhere else. It's this. It's right here. And the pull of the person becomes weaker and weaker. Not like we're trying to get rid of the ego. Not like it's something we're trying to delete or get rid of, because that would suggest that we are doing it out of desperation, out of the need to remove suffering. Which I know is part of the motivation, but it's just here, just this, that's it, that's all. And let go of the striving, just here, just let it do it, let your experience do it once, let the self do it once, just experience this, because it's all perfect. When we resist our situation, our present moment, our concept of our life, it becomes uncomfortable, and we just accept. Because we miss incredible things when we project ourselves into needing something in the future. It's not enlightenment or awakening that's this incredible thing, it's just this. It's just this. Enlightenment, awakening, here it's here, just this. That's it. It's so simple. And the concept of awakening and enlightenment doesn't even have any relevance anymore when we're directly in our experience with just accepting what is. Even the awakening, enlightenment suggests something that's not it. It's just something that's used to point towards what's here. still right here waiting for us. That'll do for now.